Hey, it's To the Point with Mike, Leo, and Vince.
Hey guys, welcome back. Yeah, somebody's got their volume on again. It won't be complete if it wasn't. Right? Anyways,
Right.
We've been back from a little hiatus. Always feels like we haven't done this in months when we come back after a little vacation, and we might be on another little vacation. I'm not sure how it's going to work out this next week, but a lot's been going on, and
To be clear,
I've been posting constantly on Twitter about it. And go ahead, Vince.
To be clear, we go on individual vacations. If
We
went
yeah.
as a podcast,
Well, we did one without you
while I was
a
sick.
week or two ago.
I was-
While you were sick.
I was
That's right. Yeah. I misnumbered some of our episodes, so I'll have to go back to get you on that. But I'm sure people have watched the news. I'm sure they've seen some type of propaganda out there right now, and there's a lot of opinions and a lot of division amongst both sides of what people would call themselves today in the political spectrum, and it's all going down in the Middle East. Me and you talked about it a little bit, Leo, and you had some questions. Did you get any answers? Like when we talked about the attack in Israel last Saturday, Hamas attack in Israel, you had some questions, right? What did you do? The first thing you did was question it, right?
Yeah, I question.
Yeah, like it was AI generated.
Yeah.
But I mean, we know it wasn't AI generated, but I mean, right? Nowadays, that's what you have to do, though.
Yeah, you gotta like check, because
Well,
if not, it's like
all
you
this-
don't know.
Well, like when it first, because I was on vacation when it happened, so when I first saw it come across my phone, like the night that it happened or whatever, that's what my first thought was: is this might just be some bullshit that they're just putting out there, some fake news shit.
Yeah,
and
man.
after like a day or two later, still seeing it, it's like, oh shit.
Because
this is
you
really
don't
going
know
on.
what they put on TV nowadays, man. Like you gotta like check.
There's a lot of fake news.
So it's like
Well, there's all kinds of different propaganda. Like, I mean,
just like anything though.
despite
like, I'm not just saying.
we'll get into
yeah.
who's doing what over there, but when you have one side that says people were killing babies, but yet there's no proof, or who are you getting your evidence from, and do you really want to see proof, or do you even need the proof? Like, I mean, what happened, I feel, last Saturday was pretty bad. Whether you think these Israelis are just occupiers or invaders, settlers, whatever they are, they're settlers, what they are. Did it really constitute what happened? Did you see what happened?
Right. Yeah.
There was there was a couple or a few hundred Hamas.
Well, no matter
terrorists.
whose side, if you're on one side or the other, I mean, either way you spin it, it's really, really bad.
Well, what
what's
happened?
Going on. I mean,
What happened?
Well, so they bombarded the iron. What do they call it? The iron.
No, they overwhelmed
The iron.
the
sphere?
Iron Dome.
Dome.
But
that's it.
but really the initial thing that happened on Saturday was they bum rushed border checkpoints with bulldozers, and they overflew the borders with hang gliders, like the ones with the lawnmowers and the parachutes on them. And they flew into neighborhoods, and they went door to door killing people.
Imagine you walk out on your front porch and you just see these freaking army people just parachuting into your backyard, and you're gonna wish you had
I couldn't imagine living over there to begin with.
you're gonna wish you had a way to defend yourself if you don't.
Imagine living in that. Like, we can get into the Iron Dome because I think that's story worthy too. But so a few hundred attacked Israel, and their battle goes back centuries over that land. They can't get along, and other governments have always intervened, and that's pretty much why you have what you have now. At this point, I don't know there's never ever going to be peace there. There's so much argument over property that's sacred and holy to all three major religions, but it's in control. And then you hear like Joe Biden's over there right now. Maybe he's on his way back. I don't know, but he was going to Israel in the middle of a war zone, and he was going to meet with the Israeli prime minister. Then he was going to go to Jordan, meet with Jordan. He was going to meet with Egypt, and this and that, in an active war zone. And ended up canceling the meeting with the king of Jordan, or prime minister of Jordan, whatever he is. And after a so-called hospital attack that they claimed Israel attacked a hospital inside Gaza City, killing 500.
Which we found out the next morning that was false news.
Turns out, sun comes up, hospital's still there. Parking lot behind the hospital is wiped out, but the shrapnel that was evidence came from a piece of shit Hamas rocket that was launched 4 blocks back from a cemetery. They used these civilian neighborhoods to launch their missiles at and use their citizens as human shields. This hospital wasn't even attacked. What happened was their missiles went up and came back down. Didn't even hit the hospital. There was drone footage and other footage today when the sun came up. Hospital's still there. So it's in, both sides, though, are very slick at their propaganda. The story a couple days ago where when they stormed the neighborhoods, they came across a kibbutz, which I guess is like an orphanage or a daycare maybe. And supposedly Hamas, the militants and terrorists, killed and beheaded like 40 babies. Turns out babies died. It wasn't 40, and they weren't all beheaded. A lot of them were from crossfire or just shot point blank. Who knows? Right. I'm not justifying anything the Hamas has. Now, the problem is Hamas is literally in charge of Palestine. The Palestinians. Right. There is no Palestine.
And the Hamas,
it's just a region. It's just like Central Florida.
The Hamas,
it's not a state.
When they got elected, because they do like an election kind of thing there.
They won, but they say I don't think there was much of a choice.
That group is more like a terrorist type group, like the way they do things.
Well, they're funded and supported by Hezbollah, which is another group. But Hamas would be like the ISIS.
Right.
Hezbollah would be like the Al Qaeda. And they're both in charge of their regions. Like Hezbollah, I believe, is the ruling party in Lebanon right now. And Lebanon is a country to the north of Israel. And they're lobbing rockets over the border there, too. So there's an active war going on. And none of us were alive for the wars Israel's fought to exist to begin with, but there was a 6-day war when they pretty much kicked everybody's ass around them.
A history of it.
And
they
took back a lot of property.
They almost took it all back within 6 days.
I believe they did. And then they keep offering up more. And every time these Palestinians have an opportunity for peace, they pass up on it. They miss this opportunity. And it's really, though, they're ruled by savages. These people aren't humans. They're not good people. They're not faithful. I mean, they believe they're faithful followers of Allah, but this is nothing a God, any good God would, I think, provoke or inspire. And it's what it is. It's a holy war, and it's not over. Problem is, like I said, we got a president over there right now. Not just that, there's already a carrier group in the Mediterranean, the Eisenhower carrier group, which is quite a bit to a carrier group. And now they're redirecting the Ford carrier group to the same Eastern Mediterranean. It's putting a lot of our troops right in the back door of Iran.
One of the things, too, when they divided up the land years ago, I believe I think they'd had some sort of like settlement. I think it was like 1942 or something like
48, that. 48, I believe, is when they got the mandate for a state.
There was a big... the other two groups were upset because they felt like it favored the Jewish people.
Yeah.
Like they got the land they got was more of the
so you can
sacred
see
land that they worship.
Yeah, you can see on this map. Hopefully everything's set up right and you can hear me too. The gray parts on the map on your left would be Gaza, not Palestine. They tried the 2-state solution and it's not working out. But because you see how Israel's designed, and it's got to give these certain areas to the Palestinians for them to survive. And the problem is the Jews ended up with their Holy Land because nobody wanted the Jews. right? I mean, everybody wanted to save them. It was horrible what happened with
Yeah.
Hitler, but really nobody wanted Jews involved in their culture because it was a culture difference, you know.
And I think that's one of
Same-
the reasons why they might have got favored a little bit
Yeah.
in the agreement was because of what they went through.
Well, that, and if you're biblical, you
Holocaust.
believe they play a role in the second coming of Jesus Christ. But anyways, I don't know all the details on all that. But the same with the Palestinians. Nobody wants them. Egypt won't open their border to refugees fleeing Gaza, and that's that little part of the map down here. And there's a lot of people in that area of the world. And yeah, I don't know what he's doing. Anyway, so Egypt won't let the refugees in, Lebanon won't let refugees in, Jordan won't let refugees in. Nobody wants these Palestinians, and that's why they're supposed to have their own little neighborhoods too. So problem is, over the years, every time there's a conflict, Israel reclaims more of what they say is their land, and then they put in settlements. So then you'll have like gated communities, you know, like a little state that you don't leave, you know, because the people outside of it probably want to kill you. And that's how they live over there. Luckily, they've got some badass technology. And that's why they know this hospital attack wasn't even one of Israel's missiles, because the shrapnel left over was from water pipes. And they say how the Palestinians, they don't get water. They don't. They're restricted because they want them to leave. But they steal like the water pipes that were used to pipe in water to Palestine, and they use those for missiles. So for the shells on missiles. Leo got some mosquitoes up in here. But so they've got this Iron Dome. Leo, we were talking about the Iron Dome, or was it you, Vince?
That was me. Well, we were talking about it a little bit because we watched a video and they were talking about the Iron Dome, and I didn't really know. I've heard of it, but I didn't really know a whole lot about the Iron Dome. And basically, it's like a system that defends, you know, the area. Like it'll shoot missiles and objects out of the sky. I mean, we have some of that kind of technology too, but they've got this Iron Dome that's like protecting all of their country.
Let me play this video for us. It's just 22 seconds. We'll be right back.
That helped. People still hear us?
Yeah, probably, because I have the mics turned on.
Oh, okay. No, that's fine. But yeah, no. It must have been Vince.
No, we have a video playing. So that was, if you're on there, you'll see how the Iron Dome works, and they so-called have a iron beam also. I don't know if you've heard of that.
It's not quite as effective, but
Yeah, it's
So what is it? What is
the Iron Dome is like so every time
educate me, because
every
I don't
time they sent their radar senses a missile being launched towards Israel, they have batteries set up, which are groups of other missiles that will counter them, and they target them in midair.
so you'll see
So it's
them
like
explode in
It,
midair.
like to us would be like 4th of July kind of stuff. But
Okay.
for them, it's like missiles exploding overhead.
know. Okay.
And it's very sophisticated. It's very effective, but it's pretty damn scary, I imagine.
so
But
what-
these people live with that, you know.
Yeah.
And now they supposedly have some type of an iron
so
beam.
one of the things they did to the Iron Dome was send, they would send like 500 at one time and like try to overwhelm it. It can't keep up with that much. So that was something that one of the ways that the Iron Dome failed a little bit
Great.
for them. But it's amazing technology.
The
It is-
iron beam
It is.
is a
That's
little
why I was.
scary.
Whenever Mike was telling me about the stuff, I was like, "Mike, are you sure it's not AI, man? Because technology nowadays, man, they can like the graphics and the design, and it's just like you're there
Yeah.
without even existing.
It's
Like they bring you to existence. You know, like how scary is that, man? Like that is some scary shit.
let me see.
You
There's
know?
a video I've got here too of the Iron
Like
Beam.
the technology that the government just has is just unbelievable. I mean, look at about the what is it, the January 6 people. How did they find these people? How do they know? Like,
But they can't find the guy who planted the 2 pipe bombs. Yeah, outside party headquarters.
Or the
Right.
guy,
Yeah.
or the guy that brought coke into the White House.
you know, like it's just unbelievable, man. Like, but yeah, they
So we
only,
got
they
World
only use
War,
it. They
though.
only use it whenever they
Yeah.
want to. You know, it's like, okay, we have technology. You know, sorry, talking about it just came to my mind just like that. The president from the Bearded Villains in Miami posted this thing that said had a picture of Biden meeting whoever he went to go meet during, you know, the war,
He was running off track.
right, and saying that he was asking for $10 billion, you know, to help him out or whatever. And the guy, the president said, where's the form? Where do I sign up? You know, where do I sign for this?
Well, that's
for
it.
this $1 billion too. You know, asking for a friend.
Yeah.
And it's
what's
true,
his
man.
cut?
It's like,
Well, Ukraine's getting
where's
another.
it at?
Ukraine's getting another 10 billion. Biden wants to get another 100 billion to Israel, and plus he's sending a few billion
This
over
is
in
fucking
aid.
crazy.
Just print it.
He's
all you
sending-
gotta do
Right.
is hit print, Leo.
And they're sending
They
a
don't
few
do that,
billion
though.
over
They don't do that. But where-
for aid to the Palestinians because they don't have water.
They
They're in a
don't-
war zone.
They don't just print money, but where's it coming from? We owe how many trillions is our national debt?
Oh yeah, I don't even know. It
mean,
doesn't even matter.
But
at
we
this
can
point.
hand out hundreds of billions whenever we want to.
That's what I'm saying. It's like,
Leo, I own the bank a lot of money. I can't just hand you $10,000 right now. It would be impossible. I don't have it. Can't get it.
right, but that's
But
what
we owe. Our government owes all that money. But we can just hand out all kinds of money whenever we want.
that's what I'm saying. Like, where do I sign up so I can get a $10 billion? You know,
Yeah.
crime money.
You know what?
Because that's what they're doing. Because they're fucking laughing at who's in office is what they're doing. Is they're just fucking laughing like,
Well,
we
they
got-
go
we
there
get-
to get rich.
here, let's get money, more money.
But they go there to get rich, and that's why you see the problem.
How come they didn't ask Trump for the money?
In the House of Representatives right now, we still don't have a Speaker of the House, and that's because they thought they had the votes for Jim Jordan, and when they went to
Yeah,
go vote, 20
fired
people voted against Jim Jordan. And what that tells you is they want Jim Jordan to come to them and give them promises. And that just tells you right there they're fucking crooked. You know, we need a Speaker of the House right now that you're worried about funding Ukraine and Israel, and we're sending approximately 19,000 of our soldiers, our personnel, will be in the Eastern Mediterranean,
You want my vote, Mike?
including like special ops teams that are probably right now working on getting hostages out.
Right.
So any slip up right now, even with the president overseas, if a freaking mortar just so happens to go off in the same freaking county-wide area as Air Force One, we're in World War III. Well, I mean, we're already
We're
in
in
it
the
right
starts
now.
of it.
Well,
Whether they're not calling it that yet, but I mean
Why would he
It's-
go?
it's coming.
Why would he go?
Who?
there was no reason for it.
So why?
No reason for it. They could have had the meeting in Egypt, in Cairo, or in the we have
Why?
we have CENTCOM in
It's
the
not
same
just that.
region.
He's the laughing stock of all the fucking presidents that there are right now. He's
What?
he's
And
the
he couldn't-
fucking laughing stock.
And he couldn't even
Nobody
finish
wants
a
to-
sentence.
Nobody respects him. Nobody wants to sit down and talk to him.
He couldn't even finish
The
a
only
sentence.
reason they do is because he's going to hand them fucking money.
They don't even know.
That's the only reason anybody would want to meet with him, because he's going to give them billions of dollars of our money, Leo. But he's just hitting the print button and decreasing the value of the American
Not
dollar.
my money. I'm gonna stop paying taxes.
Yeah, see how long that goes. Before you know it, though, I mean, if we
Then I'm gonna charge
Listen,
them as
But back to the
racketeering.
Jim Jordan thing.
more in Ukraine,
You gotta buy votes.
pretty much.
It's like,
Pretty
so
much.
you want my vote, Mike? What are you doing for me?
Right. What are you going to give my district?
Right.
Or what more so which committees am I going to be on, or what position
How
am I
are
going to
you
get?
gonna
Because
help
it's
me?
all
How are you going
it's
to help
all
me
a
pad my
snake
pocket?
game as to like if you want to serve on committees, you got to kiss ass to the leaders, because
How
the
are you
leaders
going to help put money in my pocket?
are the
That's all
ones
that
who
matters.
put representatives in their on their arm committees, appropriation committees, and that's what it is. It's all about appropriations because they're worried Jim Jordan's going to cut funding, and that's what the appropriation committee members do is appropriate funding. So they have a lot of control in the House of Representatives. So right now they're playing hardball with Jim Jordan and the Freedom Caucus. Really, it's all against Matt Gaetz, but Jim Jordan was like Matt Gaetz's mentor. But he's a good representative. He's who you want, running Congress if you can, especially after Paul McCartney or whatever the hell his name is and Nancy Pelosi. I mean, they're two in the same. So right now we don't have a speaker, so nothing can be voted on. And the pro temp just keeps okaying, long weekends and stuff like that because he's playing ball too. He was picked by the last speaker, and they pick a handful of people who take over should they become incapacitated, even if by vote or vacancy, which is what kicked McCarthy out. But besides that, 19,000 troops in the region where there's major conflict and we're a stone throw away from actual war. And if you look at the rhetoric with the news coming out and you look on Twitter, for example, or X, if you're not on X, I suggest you get on there. The engagement is way better and it's not filtered as much. The difference in opinions on what's going on. I mean, a lot of people are just anti-Jew. I don't think they're anti-Semitic, but I don't think they're like, oh, Jew, the holy ones, which it's whatever. I don't really care about their religion. I care about the people. So I care about the 1,300 people who died the first day
Just imagine
that were attacked. And then I do care about the innocent people. I can give two shits about what religion should be there, but for what they're doing, it's Israel. And no matter how bad Israel can be, they're still fighting off savages. Yeah. The Palestinians, not the good people of Palestine, but their elected militias, Hamas, they're savages, they're dogs. And that's what we see. And, follow me or not. I've watched my Twitter follower count throttle up and down like 20 people, then up, 20 people down and up. Just based on the people divided on this.
Imagine that shit going on in your own country, like your own backyard. Like, even if it wasn't like here, like just imagine looking on the news and just seeing like bombs dropping on New York. And
I think they both have a right to exist.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
think I don't know why it's such a struggle. I mean, I know it's a very religious, fanatical, ethnical region, but damn, man, like, I mean, what are you gonna do? Like, the only other option is somebody goes extinct.
Yeah, that's what it's probably gonna take.
I mean,
after all these years, they can't come to some sort of agreement that lasts. At some point, that's what it's probably gonna come down to. Is it's gonna come down to one of them taking over the other one completely.
It's like the Hatfield and McCoys. I mean, at some point, you gotta kill before you're killed. And I don't see. I mean. You're talking about one of the densely populated areas of the Middle East, and that's like Gaza Strip.
And it's almost hard to blame somebody for striking first because they have hatred for each other. They're both plotting against each other. And like you just said, it's like kill or be killed. So you almost want to be the first. You want to be the one that makes the move, and hopefully.
Well, you don't want to get caught. And now here's another problem. We are dealing with so many illegal immigrants coming over our southern and northern border that aren't from the South American countries. There's supposedly like thousands of illegal, what were they called? Special interest aliens lost and apprehended at the border. And that's like 7,000 of them were Iranians. Couple thousand of them were from like Iraq, Afghanistan, those countries where why are they special interest? Well, they're special interest because they come from countries that you can't trust,
right?
And like terrorist sponsored countries.
And that's one of the things that's feared me the most is whenever the day comes that we are part of let's just face it, we're close to World War III if we're not already started it. Once we get pulled into it, we're going to start getting attacked from the inside first. And a lot of these other countries, like our banks, all our credit cards, all our debit cards and stuff, all that shit's not even controlled by people in our own country.
Vince,
This is all controlled by them. Leo, imagine if all of a sudden everybody in America, your plastic card doesn't work no more.
I was about to ask you that. What if all of a sudden the credit cards like stop working?
Credit cards, debit cards, all of it just gets shut off. You can't go in the bank and get money. You ain't got no way to buy nothing. You know who I feel? You know,
nada.
I mean, it's gonna be chaos.
You can't buy Vince. You can't buy nada.
Nada. So everybody's gonna storm the stores and
Vince. And I've always talked about this, Vince. Vince, I've always said this. I've always had this imaginary thing. I don't know if I can like see it or whatever, but like I could see it opening my door, Vince, and shit be like balls to the wall. Like missiles, like I'm in a war zone. I can see it, man. I can see it opening the door and be like, yeah, man.
Well, can you imagine that though? Can you
just
imagine
close the
like,
door
people
back again?
just coming in on
paragliders?
Paragliders.
They fly around here all the time. We're used to that. Can you imagine them coming with
dropping down
AR-15s or M4s?
Or even while they're still in the air, tossing grenades toward your house. Or
they're shooting our own weapons. Is what they're doing.
It's crazy, man, just to think about shit like that.
Yeah, but you know what, Vince?
And then you actually see it happen somewhere.
But you know what? It's happening here too, man. If you think about it, man, look at all these people that get into these schools and mass shoots all these poor little kids, man.
Well, I mean, that's just people that
mental illness.
That's mental illness. It's people that are just sick in the head.
But you don't think these people are sick in the head too, man? To follow somebody's order that tells them, "Hey, I need you to go do this." I'm not going.
Well, it's a little different because
I understand their world is different than my world.
Some of these people,
even though we all lived in one world, and even though this one world could be so big, but yet it's so small.
It's kind of like the suicide bombers, Leo. It's like they're raised from a young age to just believe that this is what you're meant to do, and you're gonna. After you do this, you're gonna wake up in in heaven, and you're gonna have everything you ever wanted. You're gonna be like a god, they're just raised to believe this. It's not really a mental.
But
illness.
If you think about it, though, Vince, I think we are living like in the heavens. Because once you're dead, you're dead, man. You're dead. What is it, Mike? You want me to go?
I want what you're smoking.
You're in the heavens.
I'm looking for whatever's at the table over there.
Think about
what
it.
What are you drinking?
But think about it, Vince, because well, see how you're talking and you're saying that they think that if like the terrorist people attack, they say, okay, if I kill so many people, I'm gonna go to wherever and I'm gonna be the goddess.
It's not really. I don't think they're taught how many people you kill, but I'm giving my life for my country.
Right.
So I will be rewarded in the afterlife.
Okay, but how do you know that though?
That's just the way it's embedded in them from a young age.
But see, I think different though.
That's like our government. That's what we're so worried about with our kids, the young generation today. We're worried about the stuff that they're trying to teach our kids, our government, trying to brainwash them to believe certain things at a young age.
Yeah.
So, like I was saying, the division. I mean, this world was divided.
Sorry, Mike.
No, you're. I might even be changing the subject. I don't even know. Did y'all change it? I don't know.
I don't know.
The division in the world. If we weren't divided before, each divided section is now divided again, because you see people on the left constantly going after Israel.
No, you're right.
And they're like the one congressman or senator, she's got the Palestinian flag outside of her office, and there's like 5 or 6 of them that are like pro-Palestine. Like, these people shouldn't even be in our country, and yet they're making votes for laws. And thank you, Vince. And, but there's other people on the left that can see through the propaganda. Maybe it might take them a day to find out the real story, but I really don't agree with this Ed Krasenstein on Twitter. He's got quite the following. he gets paid for his post because he's on there quite a bit. He does some provocative posts, but he's a left-wing nutcase, in my opinion. And he's like, Israel has every right to do whatever they do at this point. Like, we see the evidence. And he did post some stories that were fake news. And like, there's plenty of propaganda out there, like this picture about the hospital, 500 dead in the hospital. Hospital is still standing, and this is Wall Street Journal.
Right.
every major media outlet,
and it's still posted.
They've all redacted or whatever it is, but every media outlet has taken those posts down now. But it's just like you have to filter through the bullshit. Whether it's AI, there's picture of kids in rubble, like bloodied up, and they've already been debunked as AI generated pictures. Most of them are coming out anti-Israel, but Israel is what the hell? Oh
no, but
Jesus.
yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But you're right though. No, you're right. You're right though.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable, man. It's just man, like AI is so great, but yeah, it's so
Well, here's
great.
some live footage.
Let's go to that corner.
עליך ירית לכרות, אוהלי אדום וישמעאלים מואב והגרים, מרחמך ויחיה כתורתך שעשוע היא, יבושו זדים כי שקר יביטוני אני אשיח בפיקודיך, תמר מפחדך בשרי, מצוותיך וממצוותיך
Yeah, so you can see there in the video. I mean, there's plenty of footage. And that's just a little bit from like 4 days ago when I found out we were going to meet tonight. I was like, well, let me throw some stuff together. And I'm trying to up our game on our videos, so bear with me. But I've got some other media too on the Iron Beam.
And you know what's so sad is like this is where like Jesus walked, and this is where like a lot of like things that happen and stuff like that. Like the land is so holy and stuff like that. And just to think that this is what's going on,
and that's what they're fighting over is that land.
Well,
but it's like so.
I'm glad
sad
you're going down that road because I don't know much about prophecy, but I have this right here. No, I don't have it. Where did it go? I have
like I've always
come across this Red Heifer philosophy.
What'd you call me?
It's Red Heifer or something. Here it is.
That's pretty good.
Here it is. Where our audio's on too, but it says, "Speak unto the children of Israel, the Lord commanded that they bring thee a red heifer without a spot, wherein is no blemish, and upon which never came a yoke." I don't know what that really means.
So there's a spotted red heifer too?
Well, yes. "The cow will be given to a priest to slay. The Lord continued and burned on a pyre of cedar." I have no idea what this stuff is. "And a strand of scarlet thread." So pretty much what it's saying is when there's been 9 other pure red heifers born before, and each time was a major event in the Bible. and it has been 1800 years or so. I don't know the facts, but or the gospel, whatever. And it said when the 10th is born, it will be time for the priest to start build the building of the third temple. The third temple would be on the Temple Mount, which is controlled by Muslims at the moment. So that's why they think there's a big push right now. Currently in Temple Institute, somewhere over in Israel, there is a red heifer that's been under study, and there's certain parameters that this, like, it's got to be like go 3 years with no blemishes still, like perfect red coat, not even a white speck. The animal's got to be like pampered, spoiled completely, and then it's going to be sacrificed there outside the Temple Mount. The Jews haven't been able to return to Temple Mount in like 2,000 years. And it's sacred. It's like they can't, per their religion, until this stuff happens. Problem is, when this stuff starts to happen, this is the sign of the second coming, the end of times. And right. I think whether it's that we're facing or if it's World War III we're facing, I don't think, hopefully, I don't know if there's going to be much difference. World War III now with nuclear weapons, and Israel will use them if they have to, and not just and we're getting drawn into this one way or another. If
why would you want to destroy the whole world, though, man? Like, why would you just nukes? Why would you want to? Why would you want to like?
It's the other chemical warfare.
Israel,
those other. I mean, they can put shit in our drinking water.
Well, Israel and those other ways nowadays they can. Those other nuclear armed states really don't have intercontinental ballistic missiles. Like Russia, China, America. There's only a few of those major countries that can destroy the world like that. However, they can provoke a nuclear war. Like their short-range nuclear missiles can lob over into Syria and Iran. Once Iran gets in it, we get in it. And then here we go. Russia backs Iran. And China. You think China will be going into Taiwan, which will be the third front of a world war that we can't afford. China, Ukraine, right. Middle East.
So let me make it clear to all the people that are following us. So if you're not following, or if you're following us, make sure to
like and follow, comment. Find us on X too.
Yeah, share. That's the word that I'm looking for. Is share. Yeah. I'm a little lit. Share. A lot of drinks. Yeah.
Yeah. Follow us on Spotify, Facebook. That's what I was going. Yeah. We're on Instagram. I'm really pushing the X because I like the engagement. You can really engage with a whole wide world of people and not be throttled back like you are on Facebook.
Oh, I remember what
YouTube's I was been good to us too. Spotify is like crickets.
But, so say we do go into war, right? Like, what are we like us? What are we expecting? What are we gonna expect if we do go to war? What are you and I gonna
for
expect?
Us in our country?
Like right now, like where I'm sitting at right now.
I think more hyperinflation to where we are severely struggling for rationing. Maybe not like MRIs, but like we're definitely living paycheck to paycheck. We can have all the raises we want. And I think we're still going to be making minimum of what it is to survive.
It depends who we go to war with. We just talked about you may not have any access to your money, credit cards, banks, all that could be shut off.
I think us three, kind of okay, are maybe nephews or brothers younger or friends that are younger in their 30s and 20s have something to worry about. Because it's going to require a draft. If we're fighting a war on three fronts, and we don't go nuclear, and we have like ground pounders, we're going to need to do the draft.
I agree with that 100% unless one thing happens. We get invaded on our own soil.
It'll never happen.
If it does.
But here's the other problem.
If it does, then we're going to be at war.
Okay, but
here's the problem. I've heard this question.
Wait, but listen. I want you guys to answer my question, though. Like, say if I open the door, right? Say we are at war right now. Say they already did the draft. Say they already canceled our fucking credit cards for.
Were you talking about them on our soil? On our soil or no?
Wait, Vince, wait. Say I open my door, right? My front door. What am I expecting?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It depends. Are they on our soil or not? Because
yeah, we are fucking full force. There is full force right now. We are at fucking war.
I disagree. I think it being on our soil could happen very easily.
I know, but say they are on our soil.
They are on our soil now.
Say whatever has already been hit.
They're on our soil right now, Leo.
You know,
we could get intact from the inside.
Yeah, right. Like, well, what?
Yeah, they
okay,
could be
so
here already.
Right. So, what am I expected? What is my? Okay, matter of fact, what is my mom expecting? What is she gonna expect? What is she gonna have to go through?
The price of milk to go up.
I don't think there's anything you can expect because none of us have ever experienced it, and this is going to be a whole different thing than World War II was. If it happens on our soil, I mean, who knows what the fuck could happen?
Some scary fucking shit,
scary.
Man.
It's very scary.
Some scary shit to think about. I'm just trying to explain it. I want you guys to like explain it so that like whoever's listening to us or whoever's gonna listen to us, you know,
it's
like understands because they might have questions like, okay, they're trying to figure out too, like me, like that's badass. You know it is, Vince. You know it is. I see you smiling, Vince. That's badass. But you see, I'm trying to explain to them like what they're gonna expect. Like, is it gonna be like how the war is going on right now? There's people knocking on your doors with fucking ARs ready to shoot you down. Is that what's gonna happen here?
So it's like me. I feel like from a defense standpoint, I'm in better shape than most people as far as I have weapons, I have ammo, I got a stockpile. But it could mean nothing. That could mean nothing. I could one bullet and I'm gone. You know, all that could mean nothing. Like you could just get rampage. A bomb could drop on your neighborhood and you're all gone while you're sleeping.
That's what I'm
Don't
saying.
even know what happened.
See, that's what I'm asking. That's what I'm asking. Is that what I'm expecting? Or is that what am I going to expect?
I mean, any of it's possible. Hopefully they never, that never happens. Hopefully we never see it on our soil.
Man, I hope not.
Hopefully Mike's right.
I hope not, because as soon as one of the motherfuckers drops, I'll be like, draft me.
Well,
draft me, motherfuckers.
There's
if it's on our soil, I'm ready to fight.
Because I'm ready to protect. I don't care.
Well,
give me a fucking helmet. Give me a fucking. Come on, let's go.
There's a reason
why. I'll tell my kids to stay home. Don't worry. Don't leave the fucking house.
There's a reason why we've never been attacked before.
And one of the
because
reasons
of our gun ownership in this country.
One of our reasons is because of our Second Amendment right, the fact that we are bearing arms.
One of the problems that happened Saturday morning in Israel is they didn't have guns. Now, you would think they all had guns because all of Israeli citizens serve they have military training.
And I want to take a second to just point that out, how important our Second Amendment right is.
Yeah.
Because, like you just said, that's a major reason why they haven't been on our soil. It's never happened. But
not only that, though, but we've never
gone
gone to war with another country as populous or as large as us.
If we don't have millions of people in our country bearing arms, it makes us much more susceptible to a on-land attack, them being on our soil.
But if you think about it, when we went into Afghanistan, Iraq, all the other military operations we've been into and regime changes we've been involved in, none of them were of a country as large or modern as us. And I think the citizens are being undersold the criticalness of Iran. As much as politicians want to paint Iran as bad, the administration is bad. It no doubt is. But the problem is it's an advanced country. It has third world country aspects to it. It's got, because Muslims are just like us. The Iranians are just like us. There's different factions and different poverty classes and stuff like that. But it's a modern country and it's very populous. And I don't think we're ready for something like that because of the amount of them that could already be here. And I'm not talking about just Iranian people because I know some and they're good people, but I've known a couple over the years that are from that region.
Me too. I've known a few that
they're
were
great people, but
great people.
The amount that you're told that are already here, especially after 9/11, that scared us into that Patriot Act nonetheless, is pretty scary. And that also brings in this whole thing, all dials back to the war machine. I think the war in the Holy Land is something that's going to have to be settled in blood, unfortunately. I don't want to see
agree.
innocent people die, but it's going to happen until the people say enough is enough, and whoever rise up and they
Somebody's
just live.
gotta wave
It's
the
got to
white-
be like
Somebody's got to
living
wave
in-
the white
like
flag.
Leo said it, like we're in the heavens. Well, them people don't believe that yet. And
No,
when
I think we're in the heavens, man.
when we do
I
end
should
up,
believe.
they believe in the heavens. We have just gone through the second coming of the Messiah, and or whatever they believe, and it could be very dramatic. If you're a Bible follower or a Scripture follower, the Quran or the whatever the books are, the Torah, they all talk about the same thing, and believe it or not, I'm not Christian, but because I'm white and American, I'm automatically assumed that I'm Christian. There's nothing wrong with Christian. I'm not a pure believer or follower like that. Whatever, shame on me. But you get categorized like that. When it comes into something like that, like you have to pick a side. And like I think Trump said it best when they asked him about the war in Ukraine. He's like, I don't want anybody to die. Like those two, whatever, the people that died on Saturday didn't deserve that in the middle of the, like early morning, shot in their bed.
Well, and a
The
lot-
people at the music festival were like
the
a
ones,
couple hundred people died.
the missiles that were landing. I mean, just imagine that
Yeah.
neighborhoods blew up. They don't even know what happened. They just never woke up
Yeah.
that night.
I mean, at the music festival they landed in, they were shooting through the porta potties
And then
because they
some
knew
of-
people were in there hiding. They were
Yeah.
just walking through.
And some people woke up in a ball of flames. Like imagine just
Yeah.
waking up and your house is on fire. and-
That's terrorist
burning to
activity.
death.
I don't know what kind of what
See,
would
like,
justify that.
See, like that's what I'm saying. Like, like if we go to war, is that shit gonna happen?
To innocent
It could.
citizens.
It's possible.
I don't know if we would see it here. I don't know if it would make it this far. But
It better not.
I mean, I
I
think
live in a small town, and you know what Jason Aldean said.
Try that in a small town.
I think
There
what
you
we
go,
would
baby.
see here first is more
Try
of
it out.
a civil war.
Try it out.
Now,
out
will
here
we
in
get
Italy.
attacked? I think we are at
Yeah,
risk of getting
I-
attacked,
man, we-
like terrorist attacks.
Listen,
though.
Listen,
China's a different story, man. I don't know, man.
see. Let's
That's
I don't know. Man.
China's the one I'm worried about as far as on soil attack because they need our land.
Vince. Let's just make it clear. Let's just make it clear by when we say attack. Because we could get attacked in different ways, but then we could also have a terrorist attack. Because we could be attacked because we're being attacked right now.
Yeah.
We're being attacked right
Oh,
now.
definitely.
By
We're being
our-
invaded by on the southern border.
Well,
And
already.
I'll say this. I'm
You know-
sorry. I'm just going to flat out say it. We're being attacked by our own people.
Yes, we're
Right
already
now, the
being attacked.
Democrat Party is
We're
attacking
just
our
being-
country.
We're already being
I'm
attacked.
just going to say it.
So let's just clarify and say we're like just more of a terrorist attack,
And I think part
because
of
it
is-
happened. It happened in 9/11.
Yeah, I think part
That
of
was
it
a
is
terrorist attack.
too, is
That's
the
what
people,
I'm asking.
The people that are controlling the Democratic Party right now, they want a civil war. You want, and I'm worried that China behind that, if we go to a civil war, then they attack while we're fighting ourselves and we're at our weakest. And
Why do they
and-
say? Why do
and
they?
I think that's why it's so important too that they're trying to take our Second Amendment rights. Don't let it happen. But if a civil war breaks out because of it, that might be exactly what they want. I mean, when would we be our weakest? While we're fighting ourselves.
oh
What
yeah,
a perfect
absolutely.
time! What a perfect time while we're fighting amongst
Yeah.
ourselves to get for another country like China to attack us.
To
And
the
they're
point.
already
Yeah.
here. So it's not just them coming here to attack us. They start from within.
Yeah.
They're already here. There's a
right.
huge
That's
chunk of them
right.
already here,
That's why I was saying. Like we are already being attacked.
and we're letting them come here.
That to the point, Vince. That's where I was gonna go. Is we are already being attacked by us letting them come in.
Right.
We don't double check. We don't do anything. Like it's like.
Come on in. We'll even give you a place to stay. We'll do all that shit.
But yeah, if I go and sign up for something, or if I need a
a handout.
handout for something,
some help.
They said, no, you work, you make too much money, or no, you.
No,
you can't
sorry,
do this,
Leo.
Sorry.
Sorry you lost your job. You're gonna lose your house. You and your kids are gonna have to figure it out.
Yeah, sorry.
Your family, you guys have to figure it out.
Figure it out. Like what? Like in whose mind? In whose mind think that's okay?
Well, I feel like the Democratic Party right now is controlled by terrorists.
Clearly, you know they're making withdrawals.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying if somebody's
Hey,
Democrat that
hey,
they're a
Vince,
terrorist,
hey,
but
Vince,
the
hey,
party's
Vince.
being run.
They're at the ATM right now.
Well, you would think the way they act, though, they're not very America first. We're sending,
no.
we're sending billions of freaking dollars to the Ukraine, one of the most corrupt freaking countries in the world. Meanwhile, we're witnessing World War III start, and I'm telling you, we're in it. And I made a post about when the Archduke Ferdinand, I think at the beginning of World War I, was assassinated. Nobody thought this was World War I. You know, this was war over there in the Baltic, whatever nations, and it eventually snowballed into World War I, and then again in World War II when Hitler felt like they needed to be redeemed. But
That's pretty.
this
nice.
is what we're ending up in. We're ending up in World War III, and I don't know if there's any way out of this one.
They're right.
I don't know what. As for us, I don't know what we see different.
And
here.
Yeah,
and one of the things I want to say too is when I was younger, I was Democrat. Now I'm Republican.
I knew it.
But here's the thing: if the Republican
that.
Party was doing what the fucking Democrat Party's doing right now, I'd be calling them out too.
So I'll tell you what.
I don't give a shit what party.
I've always
There's right and there's wrong.
I've always been partyless.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I don't have a party.
I've gone. Yeah,
I mean,
I've gone
don't-
independent
but
before, but
I would love
but-
to see
but-
Trump run as an
but you-
independent,
but
but
you know
it
what?
would end his chance again.
But you know what? To be honest, I like to be like not have a party.
I don't give a shit about
Yeah.
the parties.
but what
Because
for
I
me,
don't
it's
give a
voting,
shit.
though.
I don't give a shit.
Whoever
If
I
I'm gonna
think is
agree
going to
with
do
you-
the best job, that's who's going to get my vote.
Boom.
I
Bingo.
don't give a fuck what you are.
Bingo. Mike tell you I don't like Trump.
Yeah,
But
you,
you
but
guys
I-
want to jump?
you don't
on
like
Twitter?
him as a person. Like he agitates you when
He
you listen to him.
just
Yeah,
fucking agitates the
Right.
shit out of me. But hey, man,
but where's
hey, bro,
your,
if
right
you're gonna
now?
bring in the money, I'm just gonna.
Right now, who you going to vote for?
I'm gonna vote for Trump because it's like, oh, god damn,
Yeah,
got you
on my phone.
nervous.
Anyways, we just jumped on Twitter. We might be live on Twitter. We might
That's
not.
okay.
Yeah. Anyways, if you're out following us on Twitter, we've been going on for a little bit. We won't hold you up much longer, but it's been a very active couple of weeks, and we've been talking about current events in Israel and the Middle East and the division and the false propaganda. And go ahead, Leo.
I don't know.
Oh, you were just on a good loop, but
Here you go.
I don't know if our broadcast is working right because I'm trying to do our part in other media. Instead of just a normal Facebook, I feel like Facebook throttles you pretty good, and you don't get a lot of exposure on there. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's no doubt they throttle us.
We
back.
should be live on Twitter right
You
now.
think so?
Facebook
It's just-
and YouTube.
It's just like our friends at the other podcast,
other media.
TGI Now. They get on every week. I don't get any alerts when they go live. Nothing.
Yeah, you're
I
not
get
gonna
nothing.
Get anything.
Because they're throttled back. I follow them. I check their page and stuff, but I have to go to their page to see them. And I know the same thing happens to us on Facebook. So that's what's nice about X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, that's right. I got to keep correcting myself. And we've got a lot of new followers on X, and we lost a lot of followers. A lot's happened, like I said, in the Middle East. But the engagement on X compared to Facebook and the other platforms, I'm sorry, we're streaming live on Facebook right now, YouTube, and now on X. Hopefully it's streaming okay. But the difference in engagement is night and day. I know you guys aren't on this account, but you're on there. I encourage everybody to, if you follow somebody anywhere else, follow them on Twitter and follow them on Rumble.
Because
you can follow them on Truth. That's just another.
if you
one.
watch, if you like to watch stuff that's like content related to what we talk about, Facebook, you're gonna have to go search for it because they throw.
Well, there's a lot of left wing
But if
shit
you-
on X too.
yeah, but
you're
no,
not
I'm saying-
throttled from it.
No, but I'm saying if you watch it on X, that kind of stuff's going to show up on your timeline. Whereas on Facebook, it's not. You got to go search for it.
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten real deep into the cultural commentators like Ed Krasentine, who I found to agree more with during this conflict. But other guys like Tim Pool and there's a couple of Ian Crossland. There's other like news commentators out there in the alternative platforms, not mainstream media, that I follow, and it's amazing they're doing the same content on the other platforms. You just don't see it, like you said. Our friends at TGI Now.
You got to go search for it.
Yeah, I might see a notification days later.
So when we go live, I pulled up our Facebooks just so I could see if anybody's chatting or not. It doesn't show up on my timeline. I have to search To The Point podcast to find it so that I can watch our own live.
Yeah, well, like on Twitter, I don't see it right now, but I know it's there somewhere. I don't know how it all works. But like, I gotta practice all that crap.
But no, it's just.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. That's how. I mean, you're on Instagram quite a bit.
I'm on Instagram quite a bit, and you know what? I don't see a lot of that stuff, Mike, on Instagram.
See, our feed, I think, freezes up on Twitter. More than easier on the other platforms, unless we're just going on too many platforms. But anyways, I upload our episode every week onto all the platforms, including X, and I encourage you to follow us on X, where you can find a lot of stuff you wouldn't find on a normal platform, and definitely different opinions. Like I said, I find myself agreeing with a lot of people on the left. There's other people that are very strong opinionated, like Ben Shapiro, who think we should be heading to World War III over this. A lot of people have vested interest in Israel surviving, especially come the apocalypse. People are fanatical about their religion. I don't think any three of us are. I mean, we might have relatives that have.
Right.
But,
see, this is going to be a long podcast.
I don't consider
myself
myself religious, but I'm spiritual.
No, this is a badass fucking episode, man. I just got to say that I already know this is a badass fucking episode. Mike, you better make some fucking
jump
badass
off Twitter,
fucking
though,
reels out of this shit.
I don't
man.
want them to get a bad experience. If you're following us, if it's working all right on Twitter or X, we'll upload our full episode tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure.
Or you jump on over, catch us somewhere else. The lag is too much right now. So, all right.
Sure.
Well, we'll catch you on the flip side, Twitter or X.
X
Okay.
gonna give it to you.
Okay, so we're back on YouTube and just Facebook, where it seems to be a little smoother. But that's what I want to do. I want to start pushing more content onto the other platforms.
Yeah.
What were
we saying though?
And you can't keep this stuff on your computer forever, anyways.
No, you can't.
It's like put our stuff out there and just delete it.
Yeah.
And you never know when some of these other platforms might just take us completely down.
No, yeah, you're
depending on your opinion of Israel. That seems to be a big deal.
And that's where I was about to go to, Mike.
Like if you're not pro-Israel, like they want to shut you down, and that's not cool either.
That's why I haven't posted anything about Israel or anything about that stuff, because it's like I don't know how to feel about it, man. Like I really don't. Like I'm being 100% honest. Like it's gonna sound selfish and like bullshit, like, but it's like I don't know how to feel about it. Like I just don't know. Like it's just like who to feel bad for, because it's like, what do you do? When here in our own country, we're suffering.
Well, just
we need
for
help.
Instance, Joe Biden.
We need help.
Joe, let's say something happened to Joe Biden.
Yeah, fucking
Is
idiot.
that
Why would you be driving at this time?
Would you be okay going to war? Consider.
No, I'm not okay going to war. I'm not physically capable.
But I'm saying as a country.
You're saying he goes to visit these
well,
other
let's
countries
say-
and something happens to him while he's there. Would we go to war over it?
We're gonna have to.
Yeah.
Well, you have to because
Because they're
our
our president.
even though it's
He's our
Joe
president,
Biden,
right.
you the president's
So,
off. He's off. What do you call off limits? You can't. You're not.
Well, he's our president.
Right. He's our president.
And whether you like him or not,
But
we can't let them dishonor us like that.
Right. As much as I would want to say, well, I don't care about.
He's
Joe
our
Biden,
dipshit.
He's
it's
still
like,
So even if so So for example,
Some people think he died a few years ago, but
probably didn't. He
yeah,
might be
well,
an
yeah,
alien.
I mean,
He might be just a robot. I don't know.
who knows?
But just for an example, say they don't even touch him, but yet Air Force One got hit.
Something even in the area.
I'm just saying, just
Even
in
in
the
the area.
area, just a couple miles.
You
A
attack.
bomb
You
was
I
attack.
almost thought
You attack
I
our
almost-
president. You
listen,
attack our president.
listen.
Doesn't matter who it is. You have to.
I-
It's
we're
done
at
because
war.
to us, we already went to war. Why? Because we already feel threatened because you're so close to us.
If you're willing to attack our president, what
I-
else are you gonna do?
I almost
At the end of
thought
the day, I'm gonna have to go, man.
I almost thought this was how they were going to get Gavin Newsom or get rid of Biden, if that makes any sense.
Why by him going out there?
Yeah. Yeah, because, I mean, Kamala Harris would finish out the term as, vice president. I mean, she would step into the role as president, but, then they can have her not run and they can have Gavin Newsom step in. And then that would be a political showdown, probably, which as much, it's going to be Trump. Everybody wants Trump. He's beating out all the Republicans more so every day. He's beating Biden in the polls. But if they do something to disqualify him, and we're looking at a DeSantis, Gavin Newsom, I think, is going to mop the floor with DeSantis.
Yeah,
I don't think DeSantis is witty enough and suave enough to defeat Newsom in a debate.
No, and I think at this
I
point,
would choose DeSantis over Newsom, but I don't think he's got what it takes. I mean, I just
and
don't.
I think DeSantis, in his current what he's done so far, running this term is I don't think he's helped himself at all. I think most people thought more of him, better of him before he started running for president.
But you know what? Back to the thing that how we don't believe. That's not that we don't believe, but like our religion and stuff like that. Like back to what I was saying earlier, Vince. That I think we're in heaven. I think what we're living now is heaven because we don't know what we expect or where we're gonna go to.
You know what I've always looked at life as though, Leo? Purgatory. It's the waiting time. It's you're in the waiting room waiting to go to heaven or hell, and it depends on what you do while you're here. It's almost like life's purgatory.
I can see it that way. I can see it that way. The other day, Mike walked into a conversation that I was having with somebody, or maybe he talked to somebody. I heard this in another podcast, right? And it was pretty good, because Mike said it in one way how he is, but I looked at it as like another way, are you a do you put yourself first? Like say I can't remember how the question was asked, but it was more like like me. Say I'm gonna tell you who I am. I'm more of a I'm gonna take care of my family, my friends, and everybody else
Your loved ones.
before me.
I'm the same way.
But there's other people that say, no, I'm gonna take care of
They
myself
care about themselves before even
first
family.
before I take care of other people. But then I see I understand why they do that. I understand that they see it as, well, I have to take care of myself first, because if I can't take care of myself first, how can I take care of you?
Some people may not have been as fortunate as us, where they always had to fend for themselves, so they have to care about themselves. That's the way they grew up.
Right.
I mean, I know I was fortunate. I had, a good family. I didn't have, wasn't always fending for myself, and I know you had your mom was a great mom, and
Right.
you weren't always fending for yourself. So, you have some people that had horrible parents,
Right.
and life, as growing up, they had to fight for themselves.
Right.
So I can understand how some people, get that way.
Right. And and this guy was saying, and then I came to realize, I was like, you know what? That is so true what he was saying, because he said, because I thought about it and I was like, this is me. Like, this is totally me. Like, he's talking to me. Like
Like, this is me telling somebody else, without me telling them, he's like, I would be long gone if I didn't have those people, like
Which people?
just like my family and friends,
Right.
like what's my purpose? I have no purpose. For what? I would be gone. Like, I have, like, for what? Like, I have to fight and I have to like do these things for them, before I could, like, I feel good afterwards. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though I put myself at the end, I feel good, that
Yeah, but that's a you problem though. It's not a them problem.
no.
That you do that.
Yeah, that I do
Right,
that.
right, right.
That I do that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm more of a, I'm gonna help everybody else out. Like that's my purpose. Because I use that to help me out.
Well, yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? Because and if not, then it's like, well, what am I here for?
Right.
Like
Well.
they help me out to be here in this world. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And other people say no, like, you got to
You're-
help yourself out first.
you're
But it's
here
like,
more-
I can't help myself out.
You're here more for them than you are for yourself.
Right.
By being here for them, that's what makes
That's
you.
how I used to be.
That's what kind of makes you whole.
You
Right.
know how many people I have to take care of now? Just my family.
Right.
Because none of them other
But-
people stuck around or did shit
that-
for me.
Right,
when
but
I
that's what I'm
needed
saying. Like,
Yeah.
like if it wasn't for your family, it's like, okay, what do I have?
Right.
Because the
Well,
friends,
nothing.
because nothing.
No, and like you said, your purpose, not just taking care of them to survive, but literally to survive.
Yeah. To
your
survive.
family. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not old medieval times where you
No,
think about
no,
your
no, no, no,
offspring.
no.
But really, though,
Yeah.
deep down in every man, this is probably a whole nother episode. He
Probably.
wants a son to carry on
Oh yeah, absolutely.
his name,
Right.
and I mean, unfortunately nowadays a lot of kids grow up without knowing a dad or
Yeah.
having a name to carry on to begin with. And but yeah, I like you talk about purpose, and that's like you look at lineage and think about dead ends. Maybe not dead ends, but we've talked about that before. Like, how long are you remembered for?
Yeah.
Right? If there's not
No.
somebody, I'm good right now, Vince. If there's
I'm
not
good.
somebody doing research
Yeah.
or telling the stories,
How long? Yeah, like I seen
Then
my
you're
my
forgotten.
wife sent me a thing the other day that said, in 100 years, nobody's gonna know who you are.
Right.
Nobody's gonna remember who you are. So why worry about that thing that's been bothering you for 5 minutes if it's not gonna even matter in 100 years?
well, it might because you are on YouTube and Rumble.
I know,
and
but in,
Facebook.
okay, Mike. But in 100 years, you think
You're
you
right.
think YouTube's gonna be around? You think Rumble's gonna
You
be
never know. Probably.
Mike,
I don't know.
MySpace
It
didn't
would be
make it.
something different if we're still here. That's the
what I'm
thing.
saying.
Yeah. If the human race
Right.
is even still here.
We won't. I talked to somebody the other day that said they moved the dinosaurs to Antarctica.
Yeah. Well,
Tell
I
me
mean,
that.
well, there's people that believe when the Red Heifer is born, that they can slaughter it and start building the third temple for the Messiah, which means it's fucking shit's hitting the fan. I don't know if everybody understands that. Like, what if though?
No, you're right.
What if? What? Okay, so you can believe that Israelis and Benjamin Netanyahu's an asshole and they're savages too. Maybe MI5 or the Mossad, whatever. I'm gonna be probably taken out tomorrow. But you can say they're all assholes. But like, what if everything in the Bible about these Jews is true? Like,
Right.
I mean, I don't know much
Nobody-
about the
no-
Bible, but
Nobody truly knows.
I mean, I know they're like
What if
according to
we-
Christians though, because the Jews don't recognize Jesus as the Son of Christ, that it's blasphemy and that they're not they won't go to heaven because they haven't accepted Christ as the Son of Jesus and the Messiah, that he's already came. Now, for Christians, it's something different what happens when at the same time, like they all these interject when the Messiah returns again. It's just different. I don't know. I don't really know anything about it. I tried to get somebody
Okay, so
to chime in, but
no, I'm about to chime in. So you know how you say how when the Messiah comes back, right?
yeah.
Is that what you said?
yeah.
What does that mean?
Like the second coming.
Okay.
Of Jesus?
Okay. So
Yeah.
wait.
For us, it would be.
For
I
us.
mean, if you're
Okay, for us.
somewhat Christian, it would be
Right.
Jesus.
Okay, so I'm just trying
Hey,
to
listen.
analyze this right now because you got to understand that I went to church, but in Spanish. You know, so
Right.
everything you guys are saying to me, it's like I have to like, kind of like, put it into like, okay, this is what I learned
Right.
to put it. Okay, you see what I'm saying? So it's a little hard for me. So say that this is like how you say that, like the war that's going on right now. Say all of a sudden, my heart's beating for so like fast for some reason to the point it hurts.
Easy.
I know. Well, it's probably because what I'm about to say. So say, say a Jesus comes out of there, and like all of a sudden it just like clears up and stuff like that
What do you mean, like the war?
with the war.
Clears up?
Yeah, and then all of a sudden we start living all this stuff that was happening in the Bible.
Well, some people think we are.
So,
Well,
But there's fear that they're forcing some of these things.
now my heart is beating because now I'm thinking about like all this shit, man. It's just crazy. What if all of a sudden we get a flood?
No.
No.
He said no. The reason why you see rainbows
Oh, it was the fire.
is because
Was
there
it?
will never be another flood set upon God's people.
But there
but-
will be a fire, wasn't it?
So I guess they all they will experience all forms. I guess I'm not quite sure, but
I don't know.
so
but
here's.
just,
Do
but
you
just
want to know
think-
the difference, though?
But just think about it. What if a Jesus comes out of there, or say just the like he like, I don't know, like something new comes out of there, and we're here to see it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Are they going to accept him this time? Because they didn't the first time.
So
Damn, that silent right there
Yeah.
was burning too, boy.
So the main difference
I don't
is
know, like it makes you think.
Christians believe in Jesus Christ, the Son of God. Muslims believe that Jesus Christ was a prophet, but not the Son of God. And Jews just thought Jesus was just a Jew that was, running his mouth that got punished. They didn't really believe in Jesus as a Messiah. To them, Jesus hasn't come again. The Messiah, who is Jesus to us, hasn't come. If that makes any sense. I got a short form, but it doesn't make any damn sense to me. But AI, I've been using AI quite a bit. If you couldn't tell, I'm not that smart.
GPT.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. Like whatever.
I don't think. I think the same kind of thing will happen. Like I don't think most people are going to believe he's Jesus if we have the second coming of Jesus.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Right,
saying.
bro.
Like,
Well, there's we
again,
could do a whole nother episode.
You would be
It'd
surprised.
just be another crazy guy.
I wish I had a friend here that knew more about it. He's not around here, but we can do a whole episode on what is said to have like prophecy, that prophecy when Jesus does return, and it's not a pretty sight. Like, but it's what Jews and Christians have prayed for 2,000 years. And it's just
And maybe this is what it is, and they have to live through this until it clears up.
well,
and then-
certain
and
things
then
have
it's
to
done.
happen.
That's what I'm saying.
Like the building of the third temple.
That's what I'm saying.
So-
It's
When that red heifer, here's the thing: if this red heifer is deemed to be pure, the Jews are going to take that as it's time to go onto the temple. Right now, the temple is controlled by the Muslims, and right now
That's
there's
what they're fighting
bombs
over.
blowing up overhead. Like literally, there's war right in the Holy Land right now. As holy as you like the most critical areas.
just to
There's
think that,
shit going down.
just to think that this is where Jesus, that everybody in the entire world, and just everybody
Do you know
knows
the
about.
Western
That's
Wall?
what-
You see the stories about the Western Wall where people go there and they'll put their prayer in the wall.
Yeah.
It's where everybody goes who goes to Israel to do the pilgrimage. That's as far as Jews can go past that wall until the red heifer is
And
slayed.
just think,
and praised
that's
and
what
prayed
the
on.
Iron Dome was built for, was to protect that Holy Land. That's what it's all about.
Well, and the existence of the Israelis. And supposedly, I don't know why. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know the Bible, but they're pretty important in our
So there's still Jews
for
out there?
everybody.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Israel is the only
Why?
Jewish state. Why not? That's their religion.
That's their religion.
Yeah, there's quite a
It's
few
the-
of them.
Like you said, it's
Like,
the
what do
only,
they- what do they-
it's the
what do
only
they
Jewish
believe?
state that they have.
What do they believe?
They believe. I think it's the Torah they believe in, and it's kind of like part of the. I don't know. There, it includes
But they
some
don't like
books.
Jesus or anything.
They don't
like that.
believe Jesus
They don't
is
believe in
They don't believe
Christ.
he was the son of
Right.
God.
They don't. They just believe he was an unfortunate Jew that was protesting that got punished.
Basically,
That's what I'm saying. Islam believes.
See, you guys are teaching
Right.
me. See, you guys are teaching me the
That's what
English
they
version.
believe.
I just.
This is what I'm saying. That I'm
Right.
so like.
But Islam thinks Jesus was a prophet,
right.
not the son of Christ, son of God. But they believe he was still a
But
prophet,
the Jews,
like the
basi-
other prophets.
the Jews basically think,
Christians think he was the son of Jesus Christ, the son of divinity,
and the
the
Jews
Virgin
basically
Mary.
think he was a crazy guy in the corner, like some crazy bum.
See,
Right,
I
who
see.
got
I
it?
see.
Basically.
I never understood like when it was talked to me. Like whenever we like.
It was the
talk-
Jews who killed them. They gave
Can
him
I
over
finish?
to the Romans. Yes. Huh?
I said, see, I never understood like what it meant to like a Jews and this and that because
Right.
to me, I always heard it in Spanish. So whenever I would hear it in English, I'd just be like, "Oh, okay, yeah, You know, like it just didn't mean
Yeah.
anything to me. But now that I understand it, now that I like you explained it to me, it's like, okay, it's the
It's
same thing.
just
It's
a
just the same
different.
thing.
Yeah,
It's the same thing that I was taught to me. Is just in
Yeah.
a different language.
They're not bad people. They're just different religion.
No. Yeah, it's just
different
what
than
they-
ours.
Just
Yeah.
it's just what they believe.
Right.
Right, and it's unfortunate, but I believe it is biblical that they have to survive, and I think they have a right to defend themselves.
They're the
I
ones
do,
that don't
however,
eat
feel
pork,
like
right?
we shouldn't have anything to do with them.
What's up?
They don't eat
No,
pork.
I think
right?
Muslims don't eat
Muslims
pork.
are the ones
somebody-
that don't
The
eat
Jews might not either, but everything's
I
got to
know-
be
I know-
kosher.
I know Muslims don't. I don't. I'm not 100% sure about the
Jews, everything has to be kosher. Muslims, everything has to be halal. Remember the-
Holla.
halal,
Yeah, holla.
And it's just a matter of blessing the
Halal.
process. And the yeah, that's
Was that racist?
yeah.
I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, there's big differences between them. But
Vince, you were looking at
uh,
me and I was looking at you, and Vince is like, "Okay, let's do it."
it is very tribal, and it's
No, but
very
it-
unfortunate because a lot of innocent
No,
people.
but
do
I
die.
understand. Hey, whatever. That's what you believe, and that's what you believe. But like, we don't have to fight over it. Okay, hey, it's what it is.
They do.
Yeah, I mean,
But I mean,
Yeah.
that's
In-
sad
in
though,
a-
that they
in a-
do that. It's just like
in
the
a-
The
Holy Land.
Palestinians
perfect
think it's their
world-
land. It's really not.
in a
They never
perfect
had a
world,
why
freaking
does it-
country.
why do they
everybody
think
could
it's
just
their
have
land?
their religion, have their beliefs, and nobody would fight over it. But unfortunately,
It was shitty property, and that's where they were sent because none of the other Arab nations wanted them because they watered down their culture. It's a different Muslim.
and the
There's
problem,
Sunni and Shiite, and there's other types of Muslims, and all them countries are different.
and part
So
of the
they
problem
fight with
is,
each other too.
is all these different religions want that same land because that
Right.
land,
The
land,
Christians are just back here going like, okay,
we
well,
don't. Yeah,
we'll
the
protect
Christians
the
are like, all
land.
right, y'all can have the land.
The
We ain't
Christian
worried
thing to
about
do
that.
is to protect the Jews.
Yeah.
But I don't know why.
You know, they all want that holy land because they all believe that land should be theirs. And that's, it's pretty much what the fight's all over. That nobody was happy with the way the land was divided up.
Right, and the Jews, they didn't have a state either until 1948. But there was a Jewish state there since 1900 BC, and it's biblical. There's history of it being a Jewish state. Palestinians say otherwise.
It was promised that they would get their own state, and it took them from when it was promised like 20 something years for it to finally happen. It was in the early 1900s, and then, like you said, 1948.
Well, it was something about I can't remember the name. It was some agreement the British made
Yes,
with
yeah, I don't remember the
the
name of it
Ottoman
either.
Empire, but after the fall of the Ottoman Empire, the British pretty much stuck it to the Palestinians, and they didn't get the land they were promised, but the
Right.
Jews did.
And the Jews,
And,
they believed the reason
Actually, the Jews didn't until 1948, I
48.
believe. Yeah, by like the League of Nations.
And it was believed that one of the reasons the Jews got that land was because they felt sorry for them because of what happened with
Right.
the Holocaust.
And they expected these Palestinians to live amongst the Jews, and it just never worked.
Right,
So they
right.
congregated them, they segregated them, they made ghettos and neighborhoods, and it's not pretty. But it's like, what would you do?
It
What
was
would
like-
you do? Like that's what I'm saying. Like we
the
don't,
show. What
we
would
can't
you do?
concept it because we're not fanatics.
Yeah.
These people are religious fanatics. Not so much today because Israel's a modern country too, but fundamentally, These people are fanatics.
Could
They
you
just
imagine-
cannot live
So-
amongst each other. It's blasphemy.
Could you imagine, like, just here in America, like, if you see somebody that's Catholic versus, another religion, and you just, like, look at them and you just hate them because of their religion? Like, it's not that intense here. Like, you don't just hate somebody because of their religion here usually. Here it's kind of, you just accept that there's different religions, whereas there, you're like, they're on opposite sides of the fence, and they just
don't
have,
be walking in my
they just have
territory.
hatred with each other.
Yeah, that's sad.
It's very sad, and it's just normal there.
It's unfortunate. There's nothing we're ever going to be able to do about it. I mean, us getting involved will do nothing for us.
Absolutely. Like we said earlier, it
No, we
comes
just need to
down
get out of
to,
there.
at the end of the day, it almost needs to just be, they need to have their war, and somebody needs to come out the victor. Will that end it?
Yeah,
Or-
what's it start? I know it
Well-
gets us into World War III only because when Iran gets involved, that's when we've got senators saying we need to bomb Iran without any evidence that they're
And that's-
supporting Hamas.
Yeah.
We know they support Hezbollah. Hezbollah supports Hamas. But I mean, it's like, man, you are guaranteeing, you are promising troops in a conflict in Europe where we don't belong.
Right.
If we just got the hell out of there
I feel the
and
same.
get the hell away from this.
I feel the
mess.
same way about this as I do the Russia and
Ukraine.
We don't have any business in it. It used to all belong to Russia. I can understand why Russia wants it back. It's none of our fucking business. Let them do what they need to do. Now that the war,
don't get me
now that
wrong.
the war that started, don't get me wrong. Like when Trump was preventing the war from happening. Now that I understand, preventing the war from happening. But once it happens, we need to get clean our hands of it. It ain't got nothing to fucking do with us.
Yeah.
I
try to prevent it. I'm out.
the
Y'all
thing with
could deal with
Israel, like they have to survive. We have to at least protect them. But as far as any active wars, we don't need to be involved. Israel can take care of them damn selves.
Right.
They're so technologically advanced. They have this technology. I mean, it's unfortunate. The difference today is technology. I mean, weapons are more precise. They're more brutal. But also there's live action 24/7 news
Mass
cycle.
destruction.
And there's live cycles like on the internet broadcast. Like you can pull up lives right now of bombs going off in Gaza. And it's 100 years ago, you wouldn't get that.
Yeah.
100 years ago, there would be fighting
Today-
in France amongst villages
Right.
that were like considered warlords, and you wouldn't know because there was no social
Today,
media.
in today's modern warfare, I mean, you could see 100,000 people lose their lives in a second. One nuclear bomb could
Well,
be
now,
dropped.
yeah.
You could see hundreds of thousands of people die instantly.
Yeah.
It's just scary. It's very
We
fucking
should be
scary.
getting going here. I don't know what the current death toll is, but let me see if I can find it. Current death toll in Gaza. Let's see.
Can't even go there as a tourist right
In
now.
Israel. Let's do Israel. No, and that's one place out of, I know I don't want to travel to Europe. There's a lot of things I want to see, but there's I don't feel safe.
Yeah.
But I would chance it going to Israel to be in those historical places. I don't know. None of this information is going to be accurate, I don't think. They say how many Palestinians killed by Israel in 2023. It says 4,200. How many people have died in Israel 2023? 1,400, which I don't believe these are current numbers. Because I think that many people died on Saturday.
Don't they have beaches with black clay or something like that?
I have no idea, but it's it's ancient land. It's just historical. I think,
It's crazy.
you go back to that what if thing.
Yeah. No,
What
you're
if they are the chosen people? You don't want them to set off the second coming
right.
before
Yeah,
it's too early, But
Yeah.
then again, they have every right to survive over there. I don't understand. I don't know how we could fix it. We get involved, which I don't think we're going to have a choice eventually, unfortunately. But when we get involved, it's World War III. It's on. When we have to attack Iran and we have
If-
lawmakers
yeah.
wanting to attack Iran.
If
now.
we get involved, there's going to be other countries that are going to be upset that we get involved. So then we're going to have problems with other countries, whoever that may be. You know, and like you said, that's when World War III is officially started. Because you know, if we get involved in a war with any country, we're the big guy picking on the small guy. That's the way we're going to be looked at to some of these other foreign countries.
Well, that's how it is all the time. We don't get in wars with other guys that are the same size as us.
Well, exactly. We're always the big guy picking on the little guy, you know.
Yeah. I don't know, but I mean, I'm in my 40s now. I don't think a draft would affect me very much. But we do know people who would be affected by a draft, and I don't know
And
how those families would handle that.
Well, and depending how long that war goes on, how old's your son, Mike?
Oh, there's no chance.
Well, I know you're not
No
going
chance.
to. You're right. But I
No,
mean,
we'll bail.
right. Well,
My kid ain't fighting for this country
Right.
on
And
foreign land, like you talked about.
and I understand
Here,
that.
different story.
But it would, you know, there could be a possibility where it's like after 5 years into the war or something like that. You know, you have to start worrying about that.
a draft for sure.
You know, wars can go on.
Well, that's
for
what I'm
quite
saying.
some time.
A war on three fronts. A war with China would be more like a naval war, and they have the largest navy, not the strongest, but they have the largest navy. And a war with Russia would have to be probably a technology / ground war, I believe. Maybe an air war. Israel's got a hell of a air force that they've got. I don't know if they have a navy or not, but they've got a capable military. They can handle their own, but it's just how far do we spread ourselves? I mean, we're already fighting Russia and Ukraine, whether you like it or not. We don't have Americans there, but we're paying for it. And a lot of people think the guns that these terrorists were using were guns that came from Ukraine, our guns. That we shipped over there because they were there were a lot of. I mean, now there's other rumors or reports that Iran has been making M4s for a while now and AR platforms and stuff like that.
From what I understand, they're definitely sending over some of our military equipment. They're definitely sending over AR rifles from our military.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Either way, if they didn't come from Ukraine, they came from freaking Afghanistan. We left billions of dollars worth of freaking
tanks,
artillery,
and all kinds of
munitions, and armors there. It's horrible. But I'm worried that a lot of people don't take this as serious. I mean, there's going to be politicians that you thought were aligned with you where you might draw the line when it comes to this subject. Like, I'm not okay with
attacking.
I'm not okay with sending Joe Biden's grandkids to fight in Ukraine. I mean, if somebody's got to go, it should be these people who vote for it. But either way, I'm not okay with fighting on foreign land for any world war.
For somebody else's war.
Right.
It's not our war.
If they invade us, that's a different story. Or if it's a naval and it's defensive wise, okay. But I mean, as far as intercontinental ballistic missiles and shit like that, hopefully we got some kind of Iron Dome that can protect us too. But I mean, God forbid one superpower launches one of those intercontinental missiles that are, because they know where each other's nukes are. But if we're like, I mean, they lob one towards us, we're lobbing 35 towards them. And that's annihilation is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
We might be lucky. I doubt it. I don't know who's lucky after that.
Then we're going to have to come back in there and rebuild their whole country back over again.
It's if we're alive. It depends. We're like here, I don't think most of us would have a chance of a nuclear war, but maybe in the mountains, deep in the states. I don't know, because it depends. Like we talk about that Iron Dome. God help us if hopefully we got something like that.
I know we have.
Reagan wanted the Star Wars program that would shoot it down from south.
It's not like what they have, but I know we have the technology where our satellites and stuff can see a missile Like if they were to shoot a nuke at us, we're supposed to have the technology to see it, be able to shoot it down over the ocean. I know that technology exists, but you got these other countries that have a lot of technology too. Maybe they have a way to get around our technology. That's the scary part.
Well, there were freaking Chinese balloon flew over the United
Right.
States for like
Right.
5 days.
Right. So, I mean, we may have the technology to shoot stuff like that down, but there's other countries that have better technology. I mean, the Japanese are very high advanced in technology. There's other countries that are probably even further than them.
And you know why? They're
It's
so
scary.
high. In
Well, that's why
Vince,
Taiwan is important.
Vince,
Right.
That
you know
China
why?
doesn't take Taiwan.
You know why they're so high in technology?
They've got
Because
very
we buy it. Because
Well,
we buy it.
You
and
know
they
why?
and they're very
Because
smart.
every other country goes there to get shit done at a very cheap price.
Yep.
But you know
Well,
what?
countries buy it. Everything is made in Asia. Somewhere
So-
in Asia.
So
I'm sorry, they're smarter than us.
Yeah,
Their average
because they
person,
take all of our fucking.
they've got much better
Yeah.
schools. Our
Yeah.
schools are a joke compared to theirs.
Yeah.
Well, they're learning like academics. They're learning how to do stuff.
Mike,
They're not wasting time.
Mike, you don't even
right.
have to explain
Culture
anything.
shit. They're programmed
No.
too.
No,
Yeah.
they're learning.
Yeah, but
It
they're
is what they're
programmed.
doing.
They're
They're learning.
programmed with propaganda fed from the state also. But I mean, the best way, let's face it, is homeschool your kid anyways. If you
Yeah.
could, unfortunately, not every family can afford to do that. Or not every family has the patience or the encouragement to do it. But I mean, financially, it's hard to do also.
Oh yeah.
I would love to have my kids. But then again, they want their social life and friends too. But it's just putting them out there in the real world, you get scared. Like you hear all these stories about kids in Israel or kids in America, kids anywhere, freaking never see them again. It's you're afraid to put your kids out there in this world today.
Mm-hmm.
And not to be an alarmist or nothing, but I think everybody should be alarmed right now with what you see in the Middle East. And then dopey Joe Biden flies over there. Like, I mean, not that I really give two shits about him, but he holds the office, and I think it was a pretty stupid move. Now, if he went over there, if he was somebody else, maybe in a cowboy hat and some boots or something like that, talking shit kicking, maybe, you can get people on board with that. But even still, we had no business going over there. Had no business going there.
Stay home and take a nap, Joe.
Go to Cairo. Have a meeting in Cairo. Hold a summit somewhere else.
Take a nap,
Outside
Joe.
of a damn war zone. So it's
It's just ready to get hit.
I don't know if he's still there or if he's
Might-
on his way back.
Might trip on a stone or on a rock or something while he's there. Then they'll just blame it on them that we got attacked, and there you go. We're at war.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's all I got.
That's
man.
all we got for this week.
This might be our longest podcast ever.
That's pretty fire, though. I gotta say, it's pretty fire.
Yeah.
So all right, guys. We'll see you guys. We'll see you guys next week. And if not, we'll keep you guys updated, man. Like Mike said, follow him on X. Also
This is how
known
the
as
algorithm
Twitter.
on social media works. When you first publish content, it gets distributed to 20% of your followers and to a portion of people who are not your followers, but whose interests align with the content. Then, the algorithm measures two things: watch time and engagement. If a person spends time watching the content, it gets pushed to more people with similar interests. Otherwise, if the content doesn't grab the viewer's attention, it gets no boost. Also, if a person shares, saves, comments on, or likes the published content, the algorithm pushes the content to more viewers, resulting in more reach and engagement from a broader audience.